So thanks so much for joining me today, Jess. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Living the dream every single day. How's the pup as well?
She's doing really good. We have one more adjustment to her prosthetic legs. We actually just shipped them out. So we're really hoping that she's just walking so perfectly soon.
Amazing, good to hear. Well, let's talk this new release then, Reimagined. So for those people who don't know how this came about, can you just explain the concept behind the EP quickly?
Yeah, so we were supposed to go on my biggest tour yet of my career in 2020. It was 14 countries, 100 different cities. And obviously, it was devastating when we lost it. And obviously, very devastating when we lost it again this year in 2021. I mean, you have to just laugh about it at this point
Don't
and
laugh,
just
you
stay
cry.
positive. I
Yeah.
know. So when the tour got canceled, I started doing these live streams as a way to keep busy, stay connected to my fans, and keep playing, And so after a while of just doing Facebook live streams and the same thing over and over again, I'm like, I need to do something different to keep everybody interested and engaged, and even myself. So I started piano bar style live streams. I'm still doing them, actually. They're every Wednesday, usually, a ticketed show. And I try anything. So you can throw at me, play Queen, Somebody to Love, and I have to try it on the spot. Like we've done I mean, you name it, I've tried it. A lot of laughs, a
Yeah,
lot
I've
of really
seen it.
cool
It's good.
moments.
It's good.
So my fans started requesting versions of my songs totally different. So they'd be like, I don't know, play Crazy Idea in a minor key and make it sound really sad, or change this Roadhouse to a power ballad. And a few of the things they requested actually blew me away. And people in the stream are like, you have to release that. You have to release that one. And it started with Not Your Woman, actually, that way, which is the single we just released. And so that's how the Reimagined EP was born. It was literally written on the spot in these live streams.
And it's such a cool thing that the fans have had an input into this album, and you've gained their sort of feedback. It's how instrumental would you say that they actually are in kind of creating that final sound?
100%, literally 100%. I mean, even when I was in the studio recording the Reimagined versions, I referred back to the live stream tapes to kind of gather that same excitement and passion for the first time that I played it. Because I remember when they first said "Do Not Your Woman" as a power ballad and make it emotional, I was playing, and as I was going, like the new melody and everything literally wrote itself. And I remember thinking, like, wow, this is really special. And when I finished, I even got messages after the stream like, we're really being serious, please release it. So there was something very special about like that initial time of doing a lot of these. And really, I listened to the tapes when I was recording.
Yeah, and I mean, you're an artist with such a huge online sort of following, but you're also somebody who takes your fan interaction very seriously. I think I see you're sort of constantly chatting to fans on social media, thanking them for the support, and you really do genuinely have some very, very sort of dedicated listeners out there.
Thanks. To me, it is the most important thing. I never understood artists that don't answer their DMs or their comments. Like, why are you making music in the first place? For me, I make music to connect with people. I mean, I just love playing music, but there's nothing like being able to connect with somebody in a totally different country or city or state through lyrics and music. Like, it's one of the most amazing things. And I want to see those messages about how much that song meant to them or how much they enjoyed that show. And so that's originally why I got so involved in my social media. And then it just kind of kept growing and growing. I think they see the passion I have for it, and always uploading content, trying to find cool things to post and do. And I think they see how much I love chatting with them and getting to know them.
Yeah, definitely.
I hope.
And the hair flicks and all of that sort of jazz. So I'm going to be rivaling you with that soon. But let's talk EP. I mean, it kicks off. You said this already. Not Your Woman, which is such a switch from what it was kind of originally recorded as. But it's amazing. I mean, did you ever have a challenge trying to adapt these sort of songs for the recording, or was it kind of quite simple as you went?
Honestly, it was kind of easy because of the live streams. I had already explored them and kind of put the emotion into them. But I think what was the most challenging is that I'm such a perfectionist. And
Mm.
what I really wanted to do was kind of go in and one, I wanted to be a perfectionist in the way that I wanted to show off what I can do musically. I've never been the sole musician on any of my recordings. I mean, you've seen my live show. It's a very big, rowdy, like rock and roll inspired, high energy show. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people don't know that I'm the arranger and the composer of everything, or that I can play, piano really well. Or I think a lot of people just think I kind of stand up there and sing. Um, and so to me, I took it very seriously. Like, this is going to be a highlight of like what I can do. I really want this to be really good. And I was also nervous about it. But I think everybody in the live streams gave me the confidence to do it. I don't think I ever would have put something out like this prior to this time, which is really cool. And I also wanted to even take it a step further than the live streams and rewrite some of the chords. I mean, the whole EP, a lot of the chord structures and everything like that are totally, totally different than what anybody has heard before. So that was a challenge, kind of getting that muscle memory out of, when you played a song like a million
Yeah, of
times.
course. You go back to
And
that sort of thing. Yeah, sure.
yes, so to try to rewrite the chord structures and the voicings of things was really a challenge, but in a really good way.
Mm. But you're quite right about kind of people maybe not knowing you as, somebody who composes and plays different things. Because the one thing that I noticed with these reimagined versions is, especially your vocals as well, there's something very different about hearing you with a full band on stage to then hearing you with just a piano, and your kind of vocals reach all these new heights and kind of limits that I was listening to. I was like, wow, actually I've never heard that sort of thing come out before. This is very different, and it's really cool. So I agree with you on that.
Thank you so much.
So Now or Never as well. Now this is another one. So this is kind of a summer sing along, but now you've gone to kind of an emotive ballad even with it. Do you have a preference for which version you prefer at all? They both have their own merits.
I think it depends on my mood, honestly. But something really cool, actually, doing Now or Never in the piano live stream, somebody that bought a ticket actually used it for their wedding song after they heard
Oh,
it.
nice.
They wrote to me, I know. And I had to actually cut the audio out of the live stream to give to them. And he proposed to it and sent me the video. And it was like the most beautiful thing. I'm like,
You
how
were
cool is
crying.
this?
You were crying.
I totally was.
That is very sweet, to be fair, bless him. And in Pretty as well. So this is one that's probably most similar to its original recording, but I know it's kind of got a bit of a story behind it. It's quite special for you to perform live. So for those that don't know, again, can you just tell us a little bit about this song?
So Pretty is it's my story. It's everything I was ever self-conscious about growing up. And it's funny, I actually wrote this song in a dream. I woke up and literally had the whole thing composed in my head. I always keep like a songwriting notebook next to my bed. And I remember waking up and just grabbing it and just writing it as if it had been written already. And we have been doing this song for several years. It was in my second television special. It came out in 2016 or maybe late 15. And the reason I wanted to include this song was because I saw the impact that it made. I mean, we would be like when we went on tour with Jody Messina, for example, these moments stick out so much in my head. I remember another cool part of it is whenever we would do that song live, I would always play it alone on the guitar to really kind of connect with that it was my story. And I remember, like, specifically even with Jody, looking out and see, I could never look at the audience because everybody was crying, and it would make me cry. And it was always this very special moment of like, we have the same story type of thing. We've never met, totally different lives, but how cool that we can connect like this.
Yeah.
And I also do a lot of mentoring with kids. Like every year I do a benefit concert for a school that has an arts program that has no funding. and I played it for the kids. And I remember looking out and seeing little girls crying, and little boys, that said how much the song meant to them, the amount of social media messages and things I would get after. So I thought to myself, this has always been the best way that this song has ever connected with people. So let me really tell it that way.
Sure. And then we go to Run To then. This finishes the EP quite delicately. But what made you, was there anything that sort of made you choose the order of these songs? And in fact, what songs to put in? You've got quite a large sort of catalogue now. Originals and covers as well. You do a few covers in your live shows. But what was it that kind of made you pick these songs and what order they went in? Was there any method to the madness?
I think I wanted a good variety of messages in there, a good variety of the scope of my music in terms of what the original stylings were.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously the compatibility with being played in the acoustic format. Those songs happen to be ones that really kind of wowed the live stream audience, I guess you could say. Like I almost use them as like a focus group sort of thing.
Yeah.
I would take mental notes like, okay, wow, Run To really, went over that type of thing. Or, oh, people were saying they were tearing up to Pretty, write that one down type of thing. Mm-hmm. And then when I went into the studio too, I had to make sure that I really connected with it, as well as those are some of my most popular songs. So I think that also played a part in it. Like Not Your Woman, just meaning I wanted something for everybody. Not Your Woman's kind of a strength story, a story of survival, a story of believing that you can overcome. Pretty is, a sentimental, really kind of get in your feelings and your past type of song. Run To is the sad love song, and Now or Never is the happy one. So I think I wanted to hit kind of all emotions.
Yeah, you got a good one. I think Not Your Woman's probably I think that's my favorite on it, I reckon. I don't know, I just love how different it is, but it's kind of a brand new life of its own on Not Your Woman. I think it's awesome. Now we are expecting this to do pretty well. Over the course of 2020 and 2021, you had 5 releases in the top 10 on the iTunes country chart in 6 different countries, which is a pretty big success, I'd say, during the pandemic era. So, with the release of this album and all the success you've had, how has it sort of felt during this turbulent time to be achieving things still?
I guess it's the Capricorn and overachiever in me, but I never feel successful. maybe that's why I keep trying to achieve things, because I never quite feel like I'm there, if that makes sense. Like to me, there's always another mountain to climb, or always something bigger and better to do. But I love that, because it always keeps me going, as frustrated as it can make me feel.
Mm-hmm.
But it really has been a wonderful journey. I mean, sometimes it's important to take a step back and to be like, you accomplished quite a bit in a very difficult time. Give yourself like a little bit of credit.
Yeah, you should. You should 100%.
But yeah, I guess that's really it. I just kind of feel like there's always more to do, and I'm excited to do just that.
Yeah, I mean, what plans do we have moving forward into 2021? I mean, as we were talking about earlier, it's a bit of a tough time in New York with certain COVID sort of rules and things, and shows being cancelled, and some opportunities sort of not being presented as they should be. So what do we have moving forward for the rest of this year and going into next year?
Well, along with the EP is the music video as well, which I'm really excited about. It's actually a 4-song music video, so it plays through like a mini concert, which I'm really excited about. I love when something that you imagine comes to life just in the way that you wanted it to. And that was very exciting for me. So we have that coming out too on the same day, September 17th. It'll be on YouTube. And then we do a big Halloween bash every year, which is on this year. I'm really excited, at Daryl Hall's venue, Daryl's house, where they filmed the TV show. We've been doing his Halloween party now for 5 years. And my big Christmas show for Toys for Tots is on. So I'm really excited about that. And then my world tour, it's rescheduled for 2022. So let's hope
Fingers
that
crossed. Yeah.
everything, as much as I love live streaming, I am very much so looking forward to getting back on the road.
Indeed, indeed. And then last question. Obviously, we've spoken a lot about kind of your fans and things, but what can people do to support you during these times? Obviously, it's very difficult on musicians and artists at the minute. What is it that they can do to help out?
Um, Social media is so helpful. I mean, just sharing posts. I mean, that's something that makes a massive impact for artists, and it's free. It doesn't cost anything. Buying merch, buying live stream tickets, buying a concert ticket. Not just for me, but for any artist. I mean, as we try to get through these rough waters and navigate our way back to being live, ticket sales, I mean, are everything. I always explain to people that buying a ticket is like buying a vote for somebody to succeed.
Hmm.
It really is. And it makes all the difference. So also, I just want to say here, thank you to everybody that has supported us the last year and a half. I mean, it has truly meant the world.
Good. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to hang out today. It's been a pleasure, and I'm sure we'll do a little bit of a feature on the old music video when it comes out. That'll be pretty cool. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you over in the UK again when the time comes.
Thanks so much. Yeah, I'll see you guys next May. And I always have a fun time chatting with you. Thank you so much for
No
having me.
worries. Cheers. Thanks, Jess.